Welcome to episode 105 of the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business. I'm Brian Fisher. In the previous episode, 104, our guest was Jose Berlanga discussing entrepreneurship. This podcast series is targeted to business owners and C-suite executives. It reflects my 34 years as a business owner and subsequent years as a business mentor and consultant. It focuses on the various subjects and topics to help you run a successful, profitable business. They're approximately 15 minutes long, so you can listen while commuting. Hopefully, you'll find one or two takeaways to implement per episode. Today's episode discusses Don't Do Whack-A-Mole Marketing with Chris Peer. Based out of the Cleveland, Ohio area, Chris Peer is the founder and CEO of marketing firms Sync Show and G8P, which specialize in optimizing sales and marketing. Bringing his 3 decades of experience as an expert in B2B online marketing and sales, Chris is the author of the Great 8 Pillars of ROI-Driven Marketing. His company, Sync Show, specializes in optimizing sales and marketing operations for a wide variety of B2B industries, ranging from manufacturing, transportation, warehousing, and more. With G8P, the Great 8 Pillars framework outlines how businesses can build a marketing operation that consistently delivers a 10x ROI. It is engineered for those who are stuck in a world of whack-a-mole style tactical marketing, where more blogs, videos, more SEO, and more effort aren't working to move the needle. Chris's success was recognized by Inc. magazine when Sync Show won Best Places to Work in 2018 and solidified a spot on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in the U.S. twice. The teams of both companies consist of a few small groups of extremely talented marketing specialists inspired to change marketing for the better. Let's welcome Chris Peer. Chris, welcome to the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business.
Brian, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us today, Chris. Chris, I'm always interested in people's stories. What's your background in becoming the founder and CEO of the marketing firms Sync Show and G8P?
Oh, Brian, it's not an exciting story, but I started out actually as a graphic designer. Went to school with a bachelor in the fine arts, and I just always had an interest in owning my own business, and that kind of snowballed into starting a freelance, design business, and then it kind of kept snowballing, and here we are today. We have 22 employees and offices and 2 different businesses. So
nice. Today's episode topic is Don't Do Whack-A-Mole Marketing. How does whack-a-mole style marketing kill your business?
So whack-a-mole was a term that we started using here at Sync Show, my company, and it really just encompassed marketing done without a strategy. And what we found was that a lot of marketing agencies, and even like when you hire a full-time marketer, what they typically do is they're very eager to provide results and see metrics. And so they jump into a tactical marketing approach. And what we found was that if you engage in more of a tactical marketing approach, it's very difficult to attain a return on investment from that marketing spend. And so the whack-a-mole term was kind of born or leveraged there. And it was the thesis behind our methodology in the book that I published last year.
Well, that whack-a-mole, that's a great phrase.
Yeah, I think everybody can picture, the gopher's head popping up with that arcade game.
Chris, what are the 8 reasons your marketing is not creating an ROI?
Yeah. So, quick story, Brian. Years ago, we sat down to really identify why marketing would not work or why you wouldn't be getting an ROI from your marketing. And it really came down to 8 core areas. We call them the Great 8 Pillars of ROI-driven marketing. And number 1 is if you don't have ROI driven goals established up front. So you have to have goals, KPIs or key performance indicators, and industry benchmarks that you're leveraging to support that goal. So that's really important. You got to have goals before you start your strategic plan. Number 2 is value proposition, messaging, and branding. Most companies fail and marketers fail to implement a strong value proposition because it's hard. It's difficult. It's kind of like this smoke and mirrors kind of thing. But if you don't have a strong value proposition that communicates why your company is different, better, unique, buyers have a really hard time distinguishing why they should choose your company. So, and then number 3 is marketing strategy. Do you have a formal written marketing strategy? I've said this a million times. It's in my book. We've worked with hundreds of companies over the last 20 plus years. Not one of them has handed us a formal written marketing strategy and said, help us implement it. Putting that strategy on paper is key. And then number 4 is your marketing team structure. Do you have the team to pull it off? So you got to make sure you have the right people in the right seats. Number 5 is the almighty website. Is your website built for lead generation? I'm pulling in buyers and prospects and converting them into leads. And then number 6 is analytics and reporting. Do you have the proper analytics, data, and reporting structures to continually measure and monitor your marketing strategy and your ROI-driven goal? And the last 2 are, number 7 is your technology stack. You have the tools to do the job. And last but not least are templates and guides. These are efficiency and productivity tools. Are they in your arsenal to help you become a stronger, more productive marketer? So those are the 8.
Sounds good. We're speaking with Chris Peer, founder and CEO of SyncShow and G8P. Chris, which of the great 8 pillars is the most important?
Oh, Brian, I get asked this question quite often, and the truth is all of them are important. If you are lacking, that was
going to be the answer.
If you're lacking in any of those areas, we wouldn't have included it in the book or our framework. If you lack in any of those areas, your chances of getting a return on investment are hindered. But I would say my personal favorite, and I feel like it's probably the one that's missed by most companies, is the value proposition and messaging of that value proposition. We've seen countless times where marketing and sales are doing a great job at attracting leads, converting leads into prospects, put them in the sales pipeline, they follow up, but then the sales don't happen because they've chosen an alternative provider because their value proposition was stronger. So value proposition, you got to get that right. It's got to be well articulated and differentiated against your competitors.
Chris, how can companies overcome their biggest sales and marketing obstacles? And what actionable advice can they implement today to address them?
It's getting better and better all the time, at least as in the different industries we serve. But the key is making sure sales and marketing are one team or one revenue operations team, and that they're working together, having conversations about revenue growth. Are they on the same page? Are they using the same tools and technologies or software? Are they reporting together? Is senior leadership reviewing those reports and the analytics? Does the data in those reports matter to senior leadership? So really, it's all about sales and marketing working together as one team and professionalizing that operational department.
Chris, what results or lessons learned have you seen with businesses that have implemented your recommendations?
So with all our clients, we strive for at least a 10x return on investment. And that's a pretty tall order. So, but if you don't, shoot for the moon, your chances of getting greatness are also diminished. We typically return on average anywhere from a 3x and up. At a minimum, we want to get at least a three times return on investment. We strive for 10x. One of our clients experienced a 27x return on investment in the first year of working with us. So, I think those results are going to be different for everybody depending on their level of marketing and sales maturity. But really, it's just very important to make sure that marketing is adding value to your sales and revenue growth and the company overall.
We're speaking with Chris Peer, founder and CEO of SyncShow and G8P. Chris, is there anything I've not asked that you'd like to add?
Oh boy, I could talk about this for hours, Brian. So, I think, as B2B organizations, especially in the industrial sectors, look to marketing, I often get asked the question, hey, Chris, does marketing really work for B2B companies, especially in the industrial sector? And the overriding answer is absolutely yes, it does work. If you're not leveraging marketing to enhance your sales and business growth, you're missing out on a critical aspect of your go-to-market strategy.
Chris, how can people get in contact with you?
I can be reached through my website, so syncshow.com, syncshow.com. Also, my other website is G8P. That's the letter G as in George, the number 8, the letter P as in Paul, .co. And then last but not least, I have chrispeer.com for anybody that's interested in just talking to me one-on-one, consulting, speaking, or just, has questions about the book. And then you can find my book, The Great 8 Pillars of ROI-Driven Marketing, on Amazon.
Chris, thank you for joining us today on the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business.
Thanks, Brian.
My sincere thanks to Chris Peer for joining us today. Managing the performance of your company is one of the most important things you do as a leader. This podcast is on YouTube and over 20 podcast directories. In search, type BCF ORG. Be sure to leave a space between BCF and ORG. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow the podcast. If you'd like to reach out to me for business mentoring or consulting, schedule a speaking engagement, ask questions, make comments, suggest ideas, or potentially be a guest like Chris, please go to bcforg.com. There's a red Contact Us button in the middle of the homepage. A LinkedIn symbol is on the upper right. Click on that if you'd like to see my profile. All the podcasts are available by clicking on the website podcast page in the reference bar. And these podcasts will be released the first and third Tuesday each month. In the next episode, 106, our guest will be Heidi Hart, discussing the Corporate Transparency Act. In business, running a successful, profitable business is the ultimate scorecard. You are never done and can always be better. It tends to be more fun than work, frustrating at times, but can be very rewarding. And don't underestimate the value of a business plan and financial planning. From BCF ORG Corp., I'm Brian Fisher, wishing you the best. Thanks.